Hello and welcome to a short video on comparative adjectives. Here's a sentence that compares two things. Mexican food is spicier than Greek food. So this sentence compares the subject, Mexican food, which is in green, against the object, Greek food, which is in blue. Now, the adjective used, spicy, which is in pink, determines the aspect that is being compared. In this case, which food type is spicier. So let's take a little more detailed look at the structure. Okay, so here we can see the basic sentence structure. Let's break it down. There is a subject. There is also the verb to be, which is conjugated is, am, are for present comparisons, was, were for past comparisons. Then we have the comparative adjective. Notice the different form. After the adjective comes than, and then finally the object. All these components are required to make the comparison. Let's focus for a second on the comparative adjective. We're going to read through these examples. Do you notice any patterns emerging? A tortoise is slower than a cheetah. A cheetah is faster than a tortoise. A bear is stronger than a man is weaker than a bear. A car is more expensive than a bike is cheaper than a car. Mike's house is bigger than my house is smaller than Mike's house. London is closer than Manchester is farther than London. Pizza is better than sushi is worse than pizza. The sequel is funnier than the original movie is scarier than the sequel. English is easier than Japanese. So, did any patterns emerge? Well, the most common pattern should be adding er to the end of the adjective to form the comparative adjective. Let's look at the table. We've got some adjectives down the left column: short, tall, slow, fast, dark, etc. You're probably familiar with these. When we're making comparisons, we have to change the adjective to the comparative adjective. We do this by adding er. So short becomes shorter, tall becomes taller, slow becomes slower, fast becomes faster, dark darker, light lighter, old older, young younger, rich richer, poor poorer, and so on. So the good news is the ER rule works in 99% of cases. However, this is English, so there are exceptions to the ER rule. Let's read through this table. So short adjectives, one syllable, ending consonant, vowel, consonant, like big. We double the final letter, so double G plus ER, bigger. Adjectives ending in E or silent E, close, nice, polite. We just add R to the end of the adjective. Closer, nicer, politer. Adjectives ending in Y, funny. We take away the Y and we add I-E-R to the end of the adjective. Funnier. Now these three lines, you'll notice a pattern. They're still having the ER ending that is so familiar. They're just slightly different spellings. Long adjectives, 3 or more syllables, are slightly different. Long adjectives might be exciting or interesting. With these adjectives, we add more or less before them to give us more exciting, less exciting, more interesting, less interesting. The final thing to be aware of is that some adjectives are completely irregular in their comparative form. So we have adjectives like good, bad, or far that are completely different. They don't follow any particular pattern. And that means we have to learn them off by heart. So good becomes better, bad becomes worse, far becomes further or farther. Learn these and you won't go too far wrong. Okay, so it's time to put into practice the rules we've seen. So here's the instructions for the exercise. Read the data table completely. Use the data and adjectives to complete the sentence with an appropriate comparative adjective. There may be more than one acceptable answer. Okay, so let's have a look at the data set first. Then we'll have a look at the examples and do the first one together. And then you guys can try and answer the rest on your own. So let's start off with the column down the left. We've got some categories here that describe vehicles. So the price of the vehicle, the top speed of the vehicle, the weight, the safety rating, the fuel consumption and the warranty. And then in the next column here, we've got adjectives. And there's two adjectives that relate to the category. So price can be cheap or expensive, speed can be fast or slow, weight can be heavy or light, etc., etc. So your job is to complete these sentences. So let's do the first one together. The red van is something than the blue car. Well, okay, the red van is the subject. So it's $20,000. The blue car is $33,000. So this one is less. So cheap is going to be the adjective. The red van is cheap than the blue car. No, that's not right, is it? Because we need to change cheap into the comparative adjective. So what would the answer be? Well, the answer would be cheaper. The red van is cheaper than the blue car. So now you're familiar with the data set. Go ahead and complete the other sentences. Pause the video now, and in a moment we'll come back with some further answers and feedback. Okay, welcome back. So let's go through these. The blue car is something than the red van. Well, the blue car is 120 miles top speed. The red van is 85 miles per hour top speed. So the blue car is faster than the red van. Weight, 1,985 kilos for the red van. 1,500 kilos for the blue car. So the blue car is lighter than the red van. Okay, safety rating. Red van has a safety rating of 1 star. Blue car has a safety rating of 5 stars. So the red van is more dangerous than the blue car. Okay, fuel consumption, efficient or inefficient. 40 miles per gallon for the red van. 70 miles per gallon for the blue car. So the blue car is more efficient than the red van. So efficient, lots of vowels there, lots of syllables. So remember we have the word more before the adjective to give its comparative form. Finally, warranty, reliable or unreliable. Well, the red van has a 1-year warranty and the blue car has a 3-year warranty. So the red van is less reliable than the blue car. So hopefully some practice there. Hopefully you found that useful and that will help you with comparative adjectives going forward.